Okay, check, 1, 2. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Majestic Moon Hall of Event. And the gentleman that's providing the facility, let's give Mike Price a nice big round of applause. Mike Price. Okay, my name is Al Hunsinger, and I don't know how I got to be president, but I am president of the, we call it MAMA, Midwest All Music Association. And I use that word all very loosely. Our first inductee was Dr. Simon Estes, famous opera singer. 2 people heard of him, okay. Okay. Anyway, we welcome you this evening. Thank you very much for your wonderful turnout. And of course, we've got 2 wonderful bands that will be playing and being inducted in our Hall of Fame. But right now, let's see, who is our first inductee, if I remember right, would be George Clark. And the inductee, gentleman over here, is none other than Dick Cole. Anybody ever heard of Dick Cole? 2 people, thank you. Dick, come over here. Thanks, Al. Boy, this is a pleasure. I hardly ever get to speak anymore. And I didn't get to speak much before, but now I get to speak a little bit more. George, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you George Clark. Now, the only thing to tell about George is, and I kind of have to start from the beginning. So, George was born a poor black man in 1941. And his mother made him take piano lessons when he was 4, and he was an expert classical musician for a long time. And when he was in high school, he heard Little Richard, and he bailed out of the classical music and said, "This is for me." So he joined a band, Eddie Randall and the Downbeats, which, if you're from Waterloo here, Eddie and George was our band. And so along comes the wrestling coach. George was a premier wrestler, state champ candidate. And the coach came and said, "George, you got to make a decision here, wrestling or music." And George took music, of course. So George's professional debut came backing the Everly Brothers with Eddie Randall and the Downbeats, which isn't a bad way to start your career. And after that, he backed Buddy Holly. The band filled in for Buddy Holly in a few places after he was killed. And George had quite a career. When the band broke up in the 60s, wasn't it, George?
I can't remember.
Okay. That's one of the reasons George won't be playing tonight. But anyway, the band broke up. Eddie took off with Del Shannon and managed him for a long time. And George, either fortunately or unfortunately, went to work and partnered up with Ernie Platt. Now, that's got to be, he should get an award just for that. But and he had a wonderful career. for years, and he had a day job that just kept him short. I mean, he was your guy that replaced your windows and siding and that kind of stuff, but he just wanted to stay active all the time, so he did that for fun. And $2 million, but let that be as it may. Anyway, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce the man, George Clark, the legend, George Clark. George, do you remember to say anything? I don't deserve it.
Mama. That's who I have to thank is my mama for making me take piano lessons. And I had to practice an hour a day while the other kids were out playing ball. I was practicing the piano.
That's because you didn't know how to play ball.
And we did form a group called the Checkmates. Maybe you heard of them over the years. And we played at Porky's and the County Club and on the road. But Music Box, I forgot that. And
you played at places that you didn't own all the time.
I did own a couple, but I can't remember. But thank you very much.
Okay, let's hear it for George. And Craig, come up, my boy. I got to get my cheese. Craig's, I had to boil this down to just one page. His pedigree goes so far that I can't tell it all to you in the length of time I have. But Craig Kronbaugh.
That's right.
Craig began playing the drums in bands professionally in 1975 in the Cedar Rapids area. He's been involved with music for several decades. In 1979, he recorded his own LP, That Drummer, enlisting the talents of Cedar Rapids musicians, most of whom have been inducted into the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In 1983, he co-founded the popular band Night Moves. If I do this wrong, you... Okay. Young drummers have credited Craig with influencing them to pursue the drums. He's played all genres of music with many bands in Iowa. In 2005, Craig published his book about a special friendship he had with famed singer Frankie Lane. Reaching for a Star, the name of the book, and I believe that's for sale back here. Craig's own, wait a minute. Reaching for a Star. In the book, Craig's own Iowa music career is detailed. Beginning in 2015, Craig created music videos for his friend Dodie Stevens. Does anybody remember Dodie Stevens? Dodie Stevens had the blockbuster record, million seller, Tan Shoes and Pink Shoelaces. And Dodie's boyfriend at the time was Fabian. And she made movies with Fabian and somebody else. But anyway, she had quite a career early, and she's still singing, and if things go well, we're having Dodie here next year. Yeah, so she still sings, and with her daughter, they have quite a nice little show. And she's still as cute as she was then. This year, Craig will contribute a few pages to the soon-to-be published memoir of his friend and Hall of Fame member, Jim Freeman. Grammy Hall of Fame winner, Jim Freeman. You've all heard of Jim Freeman. Oh no, but you've heard his song, In the Still of the Night. That was Jim Freeman and the Five Satins. Now retired, Craig was the Legislative Information Office at the Iowa State Capitol for 24 years. Kind of a heavy. He is currently a newly elected Mama board member, and we're very, very glad to have Craig, but he corrects me on almost everything I say or do. Because as soon as he got to be a board member, we made him secretary. So we're rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Craig.
Hello. Okay, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. That's a wonderful name for a great band. But like many of my fellow musicians, I can tell you that during my music career as a drummer, I have several times experienced each one of these three words. My induction today, to me, is great vindication. But it also recognizes the wonderful musical times. The thrill of performing on the stage with talented musicians, and the gratification that comes with entertaining the multitudes throughout the years. I've been very lucky. I would like to thank Mama's board members, especially Chris Morris and Dick Cole. And I'd like to thank Mama President Al Hunsinger and Mama CEO, the late Tom Golden. I would like to dedicate my induction this afternoon in memory of my two late younger brothers, Brad and Scott, both lovers of music. I gotta give a loving shout out to my beautiful daughter Letitia and her husband Jeremy, sitting at the table back there, and their kids, our grandkids, Kian and Kenna, and Bailey, Kian's sweetheart. And I want to give a loving shout out to our oldest granddaughter, Peyton, my little sister Lori and her husband Dennis. I've thanked the board members, but most of all, I'd like to thank my beautiful, loving wife. I'm getting emotional here, Marlene, for always believing in me and walking beside me, hand in hand, through our life's journey together. I love you, honey. Thank you.
Let's hear it. Hear it for Craig. Look at that camera right there. Thank you, Craig. By the way, Craig's book is for sale in the back, and it's, if you're Frankie Lane fans, it's a tremendous book. And also, there are a few posters of my most famous Buddy Holly picture back there, and I'd be glad to sign it for you. They're $20. So if you'd like that, come on back, and if I'll sign however many of you want to buy. Thank you very much. Okay, our next inductees will be presented the award by the gentleman who has this wonderful facility, you really got to give him a nice round of applause. This is a wonderful place to be. Mike Price. And he will call up Tommy Bruner.
All right, come on up here, Tommy. Well, it's a real treat for me to introduce and induct a couple of really sweet guys, and this is one of them. Tommy is what is 68 years old. He's written how many songs? I know about 60 of them that's on YouTube. And so he started out, actually, Tommy started out as a singer, and he has a hell of a voice. And he started out as a singer, and then eventually went to play lead guitar. And he was about 16 years old when he started. And what really gets me is Tommy has opened up for many artists with his band, and just to name a few, Ike and Tina Turner, Rare Earth, Ozark Mountain Daredevils, Marshall Tucker Band, and Bachman Turner Overdrive. So, I mean, he's been around a lot of people. And one thing he told me was he was playing a gig in Cedar Rapids, and in walks Jerry Jeff Walker and his band. And they sat down and they jammed with Tommy, and that was what year? Roughly 1979, Jerry Jeff Walker. So that would have been a sweet gig right there. So, and like I said, if you want to go to YouTube and you punch up Tommy Bruner, you're going to get a lot of songs on YouTube for Tommy. So keep that in mind. Tommy's played with probably at least 25 bands over the years. And he sent me a list. And who do you think was 7th on that list? Mike Price. No kidding. I'm going to tell you a little story about that. I was playing on the road back then. This was like 1980, 81, 82. And my guitar player left. And so I had this job in Bismarck, North Dakota. I got no lead guitar player. So my bass player, I think his name was Eddie Cotton. Yeah, Eddie Cotton. He's still around too. And anyway, he knew Tommy, which I did not. He says, well, he plays rock and roll, but we can get him. I said, bring him on. So all the way to Bismarck, I had Tommy in the back seat with earphones, listening to country music all the way to Bismarck. And we got there and we got up on stage, and he added so much to my band with his style of playing that luckily he played with me for at least a year and a half, I would say. So that was really great. He's playing right now 4 or 5 gigs a week, and he's playing with some of these bands I don't know, Tommy, but right now he's playing with Mandela Effect, Cedar Junction. That's a duo with Rob Wallace, right? Bourbon and Bruner. He's hooked up with Bourbon, but anyway, that's Billy Bourbon. And he also does solo gigs. And before I let Tommy have the mic, I was talking to a friend of his. We were at Michael Cuthbert has a studio here in town, and Dan Johnson was there, and Dan was your bass player, right? So I'm sitting there talking to Dan. I said, tell me a little about Tommy. Well, she said, you don't want to hear a lot of it, I'm telling you. I said, give me something. Well, anyway, so Tommy was playing at Lakeside Ballroom in Guttenberg, Iowa. And I remember what year this was. Let me see if I wrote the year that Danny told me. 1981, Halloween night. So they're playing this gig, and they're ready to do an encore. And I think it's one of the guys in the band had this smoke, what I thought was a smoke bomb, which turned out to be what do you call it? A military runway marker. And this son of a gun went off, and you got red smoke all over the damn place. And then they threw it up on the stage, and Dan told me, he said, that's the first time I seen Tommy leave the stage without his guitar. So he took off. But this guy's very, very talented, and I hope he sticks around for a long time. Let's all give Tommy Bruner a very big hand. Tommy?
Thank you. To be inducted by Mike is really special. And because, like he was saying, he gave me a chance to play with his band. I had never played traditional country before. And he gave me a chance to think about the guitar melodically in a way that I had never thought about it. And it was really wonderful. And yeah, the smoke bomb was our keyboard player's idea, not mine. Anyway, to be honored as an individual artist is very special. I live an amazing life, and I somehow in a couple months I'll be 69 years old. And I did a little bit of research, and I found out that 69 is almost 70. But anyway, I get to play with some of the greatest musicians in the world. And what I mean by that is, don't kid yourself, some of the greatest musicians in the world are right here in the Midwest, and they're right here in Iowa. And some of them are sitting in this room. And that's what makes it a real special honor for me. So thank you very much.
Tommy Bruner, ladies and gentlemen. See that guy right? The guy down there with the camera. Thank you. Okay, next gentleman by the name of Cactus Jack Hoffman.
All right, Mr. Jack Hoffman. Just had a knee replacement or something, didn't you, Jack? Either that or you had too much to drink. I'm not. All right. Once again, I talked to Jack quite a bit there. Jack is, we have a jam session down here on Sundays, and we're fortunate enough to have Jack come out and pick with us and stuff. Jack started playing when he was around 16 as well, and he started out, he was playing bass. And then the band needed a guitar player, so he picked up the guitar. Now, y'all probably didn't notice, but this man is left-handed. And so, when he picked up the guitar, it was backwards. Now, there's a lot of left-handed guitar players out there, but they move the strings so that they can play right? His strings, he didn't move. So he's playing it upside down. And I'll tell you what, I watch him, and it amazes me how he does that. So yeah, but Jack, he's been around. He's, can I tell him you're 71? All right. All right, I won't tell him. I won't tell him you're almost 71. His favorite, one of his favorite bands is the Eagles. Adventures, yeah, he likes those guys. And Jack is, it's funny. I asked Jack, I said, what was one of your worst moments? And he says, well, he was playing his sister's wedding, and he fell off the stage. Now, you didn't tell me why you fell off the stage.
I was standing on the side of the stage, and they had these bright lights up there. And I was playing along, and I stepped forward, and I was a little closer than I thought. And over I went, but I saved my guitar. So,
So,
you didn't hear about me, just held the guitar. I survived.
So, and Jack, you know, he's been around a long time, and from 1975 to 1982 or 83, he had his own band. What do you think it was called? Cactus Jack. So I asked Jack, I said, I was really curious. I said, I know this is going to be a good story. I said, how'd you get your name, Cactus Jack? You know, I'm thinking it's got to be a tremendous story. Like, you know, he's playing an outside gig in Arizona and thousands of people out there, and cactus blows through the stage or something. You know, and, oh, cactus. That wasn't it. No, that wasn't it. So then I thought, well, maybe he was on Mojave Desert or something, and the only thing he could do to survive is cut open a cactus and get something to drink. That wasn't it. No. Here's the story. He's in high school, and you're in your history class, right? And they open the book, and they're looking at cactus in the book. And so the teacher calls him Cactus Jack. That's how he got his name. Well, anyway, I'm going to tell you, from my experience and the people that I know, this man right here is one of the best people you're ever going to find. I've known him for 35 plus years, and I've never heard him say a bad thing about anybody. Except me. So and this guy has no ego whatsoever. He's a great, he plays Last Date. That's my song. Whenever he's playing, I request that song. Sleepwalk and Last Date just does a tremendous job. But he's a tremendous guy as well. And so let's all give Jack Hoffman Cactus.
Well, thanks, Mike. It was nice to have you get me up here and tell them all them lies. And I want to thank Al and Mama for nominating me for this. It's an honor to have this award, and my wife putting up with me all these years playing. And I'd like to thank all you guys for coming and sitting in with us for this nice time. So thank you very much.
Have a nice big round of applause for the Cactus Man. Well, let's see. That's about.
You saved the guitar.
Okay. Ken, are you up next?
Joyce is.
Oh, Joyce is up. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a nice big round of applause for this lady. She will dance with anybody and everybody, any dance hall in the vicinity. So give Joyce Rue Black a nice big round of applause.
Hello, everybody. And I know a lot of you know me, and it's nice to see familiar faces. I'm really happy that you made it here this afternoon, and I hope you have some fun dancing tonight. There you go. No. I'm organized. They're trying to keep me organized. I'm already organized. All righty. I want to say first, thank you to Mike and Lori for letting us use these wonderful facilities to have our event. And also to remind everybody that they have some really good food here and beverages that are for sale. So please partake of that while you're here. Okay. And then I am really proud to present the next group. If the Vinyl Frontier wants to come up. Yep. See if I can scoot over. I'm gonna get attacked by Mike. Well, yes, I do. There you go. That's because you're the better looking of them. She does. She makes you look much better. Okay. This group, they play all over here in northeastern Iowa. They do a really wonderful job. I met them 25 years ago, probably. You were at the barn in Eldora, at the Hardin County Barn Museum. Nice little place. If you've never been there, it's a lot of fun. And I started to follow them. They play at casinos, they play at community events. They're hired here and there and everywhere, weddings and stuff too, if I remember correctly. Back then, they were the other band. And they lost their band leader, Jack, a few years ago, which was really, really sad. And personally, I was concerned that perhaps they would not continue playing. But as you notice, they still do. They changed their name. That's what Jack would have wanted it. And honestly, I think Jack's looking down right now, and he's really proud of them that they have continued on and that they are getting this award today. I think he'd be really, really proud of them. They changed their name to the Vinyl Frontier, and that's as we know them now. But when they did that, they also added this youngster to the group. He probably doesn't like that anymore, but he's still the youngster. Yes, the only one without gray hair or white hair, yeah. He brought a lot of energy and a lot of talent to an already talented group. Jack made the name the Vinyl Frontier? Okay, so now you got it from the person that knows. All right, yeah. You are the oldest? Should I say that? Already did. All righty.
For all those folks out there, you can still do this at 76 years old. So.
That's right.
They can still play. I'm still going to dance at 76. All right, I am keeping this brief because we are running a little bit late now. I don't mean to cut you short, but I think we need to kind of watch the schedule. When we are done presenting all the bands, they will have some stuff downstairs. So a little meet and greet where if you want to take pictures with them, if you want to get autographs, if there's, bite to eat, I've already mentioned that. So there's a few things going on downstairs, so make sure that you partake in that as well. Okay, but without further ado, Vinyl Frontier, they're going to get their award. And just so that you know, Rich, Jan, Chris, and Joel, and again, I love them to death. They're friends of mine. They're not just players, they're friends of mine, and so it's just an honor to give this presentation for them.
Thank you. We'd like to thank Al for nominating us and for the board for inducting us for this great special honor. Of course, these guys deserve it way more than I do because I haven't been there from the very beginning, and Chris really hasn't either. So I'd especially like to thank Rick, who's been there from the very beginning, and because he's been making music and entertaining crowds all over Iowa for over 60 years now. Beginning with his dad's band, the Three Nights in Marshalltown, when Rick was only 16 years old. Since Rick also serves as our main roadie and sound man, we most definitely could not do this without him. But most of all, Oh, my phone's ringing. But most of all, this award belongs to a very special man who we wish to thank and acknowledge today, our original leader, founder, and maestro, Jack Stowe, who is no longer with us, but who is most definitely jamming and fulfilling every song request of every music lover in heaven. Without Jack's superb knowledge, intelligence, patience, wit, and musicianship that he so generously shared with us, we would not be here receiving this award today. We would also like to thank our parents who are here, my mom and dad, Jeannie and Abe Conrads, and Jan and Gary Parson are out there. I don't know is she, Barb's here, that's Joel's wife, and Rick's parents are long gone, and that would have been Don and Jean Anderson. So we are all four of us very fortunate to have had such enormously generous and supportive parents cheering us on. And of course, last but not least, we thank our audiences for your faithful support of our music and our dancers, and for your appreciation of older music that has kept it and us relevant throughout all these years. As I always say, without you, we'd just be jamming in our garages. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, sir, if you have a lady's name, don't worry about it. Okay. You bet. Again, give them a nice hand, will you please? Final Frontier. And they will be the first group starting this evening. You betcha. Yeah, he's out there somewhere. Do you want to bring him up, or do you want me to bring him up? You bring him up.
Bill, where are you at? Woo-hoo! All right, if you don't know Bill Christel, you should. I met Bill 20-some years ago, and I was absolutely floored when I saw him. If you've never seen him perform, he is a one-man act, and he is terrific. He sings well, he entertains us, he brings in the crowd. It's just, he's a lot of fun. He plays 50s through 80s music, he plays country music, he plays gospel. He's been playing for many, many years. You want to tell him how long?
This New Year's Eve marks 50 years in the business.
He's played in Branson. You've had shows going on down there for quite some time. Played in Nashville. He's had many, many awards. And the end of the month, he's going to be brought into the Hall of Fame in Nebraska. So he gets 2 awards this month, one from us and one from Nebraska. Yep, okay, so we're going to keep it real brief again. So welcome to Bill, welcome to the Midwest All Music Association's Hall of Fame. Your turn.
Thank you so much for this nomination, and thank you, Al. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I say this all the time, and I truly mean it. I thank God every day for music, because it takes us someplace that, yes, we need to be. I do a lot of care centers, retirement communities, because those folks can't get out to see any more shows, so I take my show to them. And the biggest question I always get asked is, what do you change in your show? Absolutely nothing. They like to have fun and let their hair down, and they just can't get out to see any more shows. I can't thank you enough. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Everybody enjoy yourself tonight and give all these musicians a great big hand.
Give us 20 shots of that, 20 pictures. Okay, give this nice lady a round of applause. Joyce Rublack. Ken Paxton, are you out there, sir? Oh, here he is. What are you gimping about? You're gimping. This is one of our other board of directors, ladies and gentlemen. Give a nice round of applause. Ken Paxton. Test.
Sorry. We'll move the program along. I have the honor of introducing two additional members who are being inducted into the Mamas Hall of Fame. And so I'm going to start with Ed Butler, who is here. In your programs, you have a fairly detailed and really well-written biography of some of the highlights of his career, so I'm not going to go through all of them. As I said, we need to kind of move along, and then I'll cover a few things. Ed's had a pretty long career in music, as most people here have. He's a native of Dayton, Ohio. He's been making music for half a century, playing with multiple bands. Right now, he is the sound tech out of Riverside Casino. Has been there for the last decade. Shepherding bands on and off stage, including B.J. Thomas, and I can say myself, I've been out there for that decade watching the results of his work, and he does a spectacular job. So anyway, I'd like you to welcome Ed Butler.
Thank you so much. This is a tremendous honor here. If I tend to blabber a bit much, they are not cheap with the liquor over there, so I blame them. I was digging through some stuff, and I came across a song I never finished writing, and really came up with these 4 lines, but it seemed appropriate for tonight, so I'm just going to hit you with this and move on. My lyrics are like weebles. They tend to write themselves. Blame it on the muses, say it was the elves. I may get the byline, but I can't take the credit. The spirit tells the story. All I do is edit. Thanks so much, Al. It's always been a pleasure. Let's keep on rocking and do some good music tonight. It's always good to do sound for all these great bands.
Okay, thank you guys. How many have been at Riverside Casino? Raise your hand. Ed is a fixture there. He's the sound man there, and he takes care of all the bands. Yes, he does. Okay, our next inductee. Terry McCullough. Where are you, Terry? Make your way up here, Terry. He's in the bathroom, you say? Oh, here he is. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce this gentleman, I want to mention also on Sunday, mark this down, get your phones out, mark it down, Sunday, November 13th. That's on a Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock to 6. We're having a Veterans Day dance in Iowa City at the Eagles Club. All veterans are admitted free. And the two gentlemen are going to be playing, Ed Butler and Terry McCullough. Give them a nice big round of applause. I heard this gentleman play. He's dynamite. Yes. See, what'd I tell you? Get your own show, will you? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, give a nice big round of applause. This guy is dynamite.
I pretty well covered most of the introduction. Once again, Terry is a pop guitarist who specializes in the 60s and 70s. As you'll read in the incredibly fine print, you'll need a microscope to see. He's memorized over 300 songs. He's performed all over Iowa, been doing it for 26 years. I'm sure all of you, including me and my wife, have seen him play before. So it's one of those things you don't need a whole lot of introduction. I'm pleased and honored to be able to say that I get to introduce him as a member of Mama's Hall of Fame. So here's Terry.
Thank you very much. I prepared a 32-minute monologue. If that's not too long, I'll continue on. I want to thank Mama, the board, Al right here. I want to send a special thanks out to Richard Campagna. He's over to the left, I believe. There he is. Isn't he? Did he move?
His wife is on that side and his girlfriend's on that side.
Did you hear that, Richard? I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyway, it's great to be here. Sometimes I feel like I don't belong here because these people are absolutely fantastic. They're absolutely fantastic in what they do. I'm just a singer in a rock and roll band, and the band is me. I've been a soloist for 26 years in county, and I do all songs from 70s and the 60s for the most part. Don't let my blonde hair fool you. I am from the 70s, so I know they want to cut this short, but again, I have a 32-minute monologue, so I'm just going to carry on. Seriously, we enjoy being here. I enjoy being here. I've had 3 or 4 tables show up tonight from Marion, Shellsburg. We've got Venezuela represented today. We got New York State represented today.
2-2. So where was I? Venezuela, New York State, yeah. Richard and Oda. I also want to point out, I met this young lady 4 years ago, going on 4 years, and she's been my, now I'm getting emotional. My heart and soul, my fiance, Tanya Riley, who's standing right there in the middle. She has done so much in not only supporting me, but promoting what I do. And she's got a heart of gold. So thank you, Tanya, and thank you everyone for showing up tonight. And I guess that kind of wraps it up. I got so much more to say, but my drink is getting warm behind me, so I'm going to grab that now. And I got 20 minutes left. All right. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the evening, and hopefully we'll see you in the crowd someday. Thank you. We do this every weekend. Thank you.
Okay, another one? Any more pictures?
A reminder, go downstairs and get your pictures taken with them and get autographs.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, we need. Yes. All the way from Davenport, Iowa. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the second band playing this evening. Give a nice big round of applause for the Tail Fins. Come on, guys.
You think we got two of them now, huh? Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this group has so many credits. I'm not going to tell you all about them, but I'm going to let Steve do it. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
As ready as I'm gonna be. Thanks, Al. Appreciate the nomination and Mama Group for having us up here today. It's an honor to be here with all these other wonderful bands who've entertained audiences for a long, long time. So, thank you. First off, I'd like to introduce the band. Way on the end here on our keyboards is Perry Holgren. And next to Perry is our lead guitarist, Kerry Tucker. And playing bass for the band is Mr. Rob Doms. And on drums, Mr. Rodney Smith. You know, everybody's got an interesting journey, and it's fascinating to listen to it. The band's been going for about 20 years now. As you know, there's different configurations of the band over the years and whatnot. These guys have been part of the Tail Fins for 10 years now, last 10 years of the 20 that we've been in existence. And I couldn't ask for a better group of musicians, friends, support, everything. These guys have been wonderful. We played the Surf Ballroom 3 times at the Winter Dance Party, 2016, 2017, 2018. And that was an exciting journey for us to make. We played a lot of different venues over the years, casinos, car shows, city events, you name it, like the other bands. And it's just more fun every year. So I'm really blessed to have these guys. And very exciting for us to receive this award, and we're just looking forward to rocking tonight. Okay.
Played the Surf Ballroom. Not many bands get to play the Surf Ballroom. Let's hear it for this crew. You bet. Over here. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for being here this evening. You betcha. Okay. I think we've got one more. Phyllis, would you bring the photograph underneath the table there? Take your time, sweetie. Okay, this is last but not least, ladies and gentlemen. Before I bring her, we know that she's a beauty worth waiting for. We know that. Anyway, this lady who's about to come up to the stage, we met her several years ago on Carnival Cruise. And believe me, ever since then, she's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. At the age of 12, she started her entertainment career. And anyway, like I say, she went on to famous entertaining on the Carnival Cruise line for 13 years. 13 years. This lady, when I approached her the first time, I asked her if she did a little singing, you know, or some singing and dancing. She says, yeah. She says, I do just a little bit. I said, okay, we will see you this evening. Yeah, right. She was a production person and sing and dance. Ladies and gentlemen, give this lady a nice big round of applause. She's been at Branson, Missouri, and she's here to accept her award this evening. Give it up for Adrienne Hall. Before we go any further, I want to bring Tosh up. Tosh, are you out there? This little guy just turned 5 years old. On October the 10th is his birthday. Come up here, buddy. His name is Tosh, T-O-S-H, his birthday. So let's sing happy birthday to Tosh, okay? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tosh. Happy birthday to you. Give him a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my! Whew, that knocked my heart out. Woo! Look at that. If that isn't a beauty picture, let me tell you. Anyway, this evening we are going to auction this picture off. We are going to auction it, and I'm sure this beautiful lady up here will be more than happy to sign it for you. And she might even give you a kiss on the cheek if her husband doesn't mind. Bahel's his name, and he's from what, Yugoslavia?
Transylvania.
Oh, he is now. Okay, all right. Here's the beauty we're talking about, Adrienne.
Thank you. Thanks very much. I did not come prepared with a 32-minute monologue, but I just want to say thank you to everyone, and to Mama and to Al. This is such an honor, and I've been playing in Iowa at Riverside Casino and at Rhythm City, and I've been so fortunate to play with the Tailfins. Basically, Rich Bentler at Riverside said to the Tailfins, "Do you want to learn a whole bunch of music and make this gal sound pretty great?" And they said, "Okay." Not sure how he twisted your arm, but because of them, that's why I'm here. So thank you, Tailfins, so much. I'm so excited to play with you again tonight, and just thank you to everybody.
Thanks, sweetie. Thank you very much. Hey, do you want to say anything? 5 years old, I wouldn't say anything either. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for the one and only Adrienne Hall.
I just want to remind everybody that we're going to take a short break now. The bands will start at 6. Please go downstairs, get yourself some really good food that they have here for sale and beverages. Relax, enjoy. Thanks again for coming.
Hey, give yourself a nice big round of applause.